Hello, everyone. It is me, the Scalia Vase. So, as it turns out, my throat pain from Sunday was in fact the start of a cold. And the past few days were like really bad. Like my nose was stuffy and all that. I went to the ENT yesterday. And my hearing was very, very good. The ENT asked what color my mucus was, and I said, like, I think it's green. And she just went, I'm prescribing you an antibiotic. Make sure to eat a bunch of yogurt. Which I am perfectly fine with. I still gotta wait for the antibiotic to arrive, though. But anyway, I am going to go ahead make a new save of this. But yes, hello Metal. I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Still sick though. But I'm feeling better. Anyway, so for today, I'm working on fanfic headers because I write fanfic. And also because I did an interest check and a good amount of people were interested in buying headers I like custom draw. So I am doing in the first character of them, which is Riddle Rose Hearts. He is based off the Queen of Hearts. Anyway, I actually have an itty bitty calico with me. He is being very lovely. No criminal behavior whatsoever. I've been what? I've been Helka? A cold, you know, like sick. Hope it gets better. I am past the worst of it. Thankfully. Like, the worst days of it were Tuesday and Wednesday. Like, it was bad enough that I had to stay home and not go to class at all on Wednesday. And I am still having a lot of mucus in my throat. So if you hear a lot of weird noises, like vaguely shrieky noises, sort of, I'm trying to get mucus out from my throat. That's all I'm really gonna say. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a gesture. Right. Yeah. Got a football match today? Hell yeah. Not the American kind? Yeah. Yeah. So soccer. Yeah. Not American football, but soccer. 2-1, hell yeah. 2-1, hell yeah. I'm gonna turn off the background for this so that I can just focus on drawing this character. And I'd like to mention that I have done other fanfic headers, but just like they're like this. So I'm gonna start off with kind of like a vague idea as to what I'll be doing. It appears Magda has a toy. And you'll look for now. Hope I have fun. I hope so too. And I hope this goddamn sickness eventually comes to pass. I think I'm gonna start off with yeah. Being sick is not fun. Let's just say that. Actually, I'm gonna do a little chibi. I'll just chibi it. Maybe I should look more at the wiki, fan wiki for, you know, inspiration. Also, like, literally everything below here does not matter. It's not gonna be, like, all that shown anyway. I do have the wiki page for Riddle out. I'm just gonna go to the gallery. I think I'm gonna start off with some expressions. Cause we just start off with, I like his base expression that he has in. He sort of has for his chibi/SD. He's kind of like this expression. I'm going to then copy and paste, then transfer. Then I'm gonna scroll back down to I'm basing this expression on the cover for the Book of Hearts Labial manga, Volume 1 specifically. And of course there's also, eyebrows. So Riddle appears to have like relatively shorter eyebrows. Like you can see here, it doesn't really go past this part. So I should probably look at his actual in-game model. Create new from clipboard. So, hi Manx. As you can probably see, me make a new layer. So his eye shape is kind of like this. Kind of like a very downturned, and he has a heavy upper lash up here. And his eyebrows are very much downturned, turned face into face. And at a very high angle up here. Kind of tangent goes to a very close tangent over here, where his hair is. Then he has one eyelash up here and 3 smaller ones down here. And he has a noticeable Cupid's bow down here. You know, that, you know, this little V here in the center of the lips, that is like a pronounced Cupid's bow. But I'm gonna crop this so that it is just his face. And I'm gonna save this, my references. As reference 3. So I'll go open that. Open that. Did I have drawn this character before? But that was back when I was still using Fire Alpaca. I drew him like twice, from what I remember. But I'm gonna merge these down. And I'm gonna try and redo the gesture. Which I might need to use I might need to make a 3D head of him so that I can draw him somewhat accurately. But I think I'll have sort of the face. I like this. And these 2 lines are for the eyes. I'm not gonna close that line. But this is, you know, just a gesture so that I can know what I am vaguely doing. best. No, it's not meant to. This is a gesture. This is not the actual sketch. So... Whee! Move this down here. And I think I'm gonna... do something like this. And ads are gonna start pretty soon. So I'll take a little break. Once the ads roll. And once the ads are done, I'll start working on this. A little more. And I'm gonna switch to magenta for this. Actually, let me go. Hey, screenshot.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
Hello, hello. Thank you for the hydrate. I definitely needed to hydrate anyway. So... this PNG. There is another cover for the novel. It's this. I also have this from the book where it shows the actual concept art for all of the characters, including the chibis. Have to go out with the dog? Understandable, go walk the dog. But anyway, ads are gonna start in a few minutes, so I'm gonna use this time to take a little break and stretch. I must stretch. Earlier, that is a suggestion. Was at least said that. And hopefully it has settled in.
Wait, hello, Magda. Aw, she's making biscuits out of plushie. Thank goodness. How adorable. Yes. So cute. Have the cute little calico. Yeah.
I wasn't able to. Or, you know, a press other than, you know, using E6000 to glue a bunch of resin beads onto a. I probably need to start working on the other collages because I have to make 3. I have to pick out a background to use, which this time I'm not going to just fill it in with a bunch of red, like a dark red. I'm going to instead gift wrapping paper, like gift paper. It's Halloweeny, and there is quite a lot. There's several pages of the gift paper. I think I remember buying it from Michael. For those of my audience who don't know what Michael's is, because I don't know if it's really a thing outside of the United States. It's basically a craft store. Like, you know, an arts and crafts store. You go in there to buy stuff in order to make drawings and paintings. They have paints, they have markers, they even have pens, you know, all that sort of stuff. And they often have seasonal decor that they usually stock like several months ahead of the actual holiday. So, for example, Halloween stuff. They usually start stocking that stuff in the summer, so around June and July. That's when you start getting the Halloween stuff, because arts and crafts take a long time. And they have stuff like fairy lights and the like as well. But yeah. So, my next art stream is in 8 days. So the 19th. Which I might use that day as an opportunity to work on my collage project. You know, at home. Which means the very, very rare hand cam will likely make a return. Also, I forgot to take my Vyvanse. Which probably explains why I was struggling to figure out the gesture here, as I forgot to take my ADHD medicine. But anyway, I think it is time to go. So something I've been kind of doing and lately, like yesterday, I was working on a bunch of assignments for that kind of involve Photoshop. Which is basically like the industry standard raster software. I hate it though. It's just not the kind of software I feel like suits me all that well. So that could easily just be my perspective as someone who used Fire Alpaca for so long, and then eventually Clip Studio Paint. I'm used to the way those two software work. So this has the clearest. No. Appearance of Riddle's eye. I need to go and find that one drive link that I have that has some of his expressions. Or just go to. So user twist assets. Right. So I'll figure out what to do with the mouth later. But I think for now I'm gonna make these lines over here. Start off with this eye, I think. Real quick. So my goal is to try and at least get the line art and base colors for Riddle done. The other parts of him rendering can be done later. I'll do a little bit of this. Well, it looks a little. Oh, I don't know why. Maybe it's lips? Or maybe I made his eyes too big. Hello, Jelly Nova. Hi. I'm currently doing a thing for a fandom because the people of Tumblr have decided. My model is cute. Thank you. I completely made her myself. So I still have some that good old Tumblr. Yes. I made an interest check on Tumblr because I, felt like making my own, headers, and I thought maybe I could also sell them on VGen and stuff. so that people can, also use them if they want to. And a good amount of people said that they would be interested in that, so I am doing that right now. I plan on debuting them in a fic series I'm currently writing, which is based on a kind of fic that I have written quite a lot of. Fictional men witnessing endometriosis. Which, for those who are wondering, why would I do something like that? 1. I have endometriosis. Or at least I highly suspect I do. I have not been able to actually get a proper diagnosis, which kind of sucks. But my mom had it, so I probably have it too. And 2, you're working on your own commissions and you need a co-working buddy? Understandable. Yeah. And the second reason why I write those fics is because it might help someone who has abnormally painful cramps but doesn't realize that it could be because of something wrong with their body. Yeah, that could help them be like, hey, this feels like what I experience when I have my periods. Maybe I should go to a gynecologist? And that has happened once so far. At least as far as I know of, because they, yeah, you should probably do that. I mean, I mostly do it because it's something I know of, and I can, based on my own experiences, help spread awareness of, endometriosis, so that people can feel and know, like, hey, this is actually not meant to be normal. You're not meant to be bedridden because of cramps. Because every single time you have a period, you're not meant to bleed out half a gallon of blood every single time you have your period. See? Hold on. I'm gonna do the hair in red. Every single time you have a period, you get anemic. Yes. Anemia. Very fun. I also do get a bit anemic, but it's mostly just like iron deficiency. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's why I take iron supplements. Every other day, baby. Same, yeah. Which, the funny thing is, because I also take Nurtec, which is also something that I have to take every other day, I alternate the days where I take my iron and my Nurtec. So one day I take a Nurtec, the other day I take my iron. Which apparently taking iron every other day helps it absorb a bit more. But yeah. So there is a kitty. He is going meow meow. Yeah. I do. Yeah. Right now, I'm currently writing a series of fics where I'm making like all the Twisted Wonderland characters, or at least, you know, the students of NRC and some of the staff with this endometriosis. And right now, the only character who is done is this guy. And now I'm doing the Heartstubule dorm first. Because, you know, in the first dorm you really interact with in the game. The main story and stuff. I think I know why this looks a little weird right now. Alright, that looks a little better. At least I think it looks a little better. I'm gonna do this as well, I think. Alright. Yeah. So, in a few minutes, I'm gonna start the intermission for the first hour. And the reason I do this is because I don't want to end up too antsy during my streams. So taking a break for a few minutes every hour where I just have a BRB screen going and I get up and walk around, do some stuff. It helps me make sure I am in the best shape that I can in order to be entertaining. Let's just say that. So I'll be starting that in the next 3 or so minutes. I think I might. Yeah. So this is my line art pen. I forgot that's. So this is my line art pen. It is a Tumblr reference. And I kind of like, it's based off the mapping pen over here. But it has a little more line variation. So I'm gonna look over at So I'm gonna start off with the very bottom over here. And this is basically just I'm eventually going to fill in the color for this. But as it has reached the 1 hour point of stream, and as I'm gonna start soon, I'm gonna go ahead and begin my work, my intermission, so that I can, recuperate. I shall be back in a few minutes. I am back. There is a cat meowing pitifully in the hallway.
My man. Did he look? Did he go to chat? My man.
That was all.
Pull me here. Pull me some stuff out of your way. I'll move it. So, have your little bed.
Very vocal. So the cat I was talking to earlier is this old man. His name is Mao. Turning 18 later this year. You're an old man. And he has a tendency to caterwaul, and he also has wobbly cat syndrome. It's very mild, but he is still a very wobbly man. He is the dutiful people cat. Let me go clear my throat of mucus real quick. Bitch. I can't wait to no longer be sick. Actually, hold on. Me. I think that is a good placement for that. I think I need to pitch this a little lower. Or on the face. I'm going to quickly grab some of the colors from this thing over here. And I'm just doing this and using the colors from his actual, like, art. Because his actual hair is, like, a pretty light red. Like, sort of a medium, sort of more warm red. It's just the shading that makes it sort of feel more cooler. And of course, I'm probably going to use the color of his hair as the color of his eyelashes. But now I just need to... What is it, people? What is it you desire? Very, very strange creatures. I never know what they want. Also, yesterday I got a raging pimple, like, and it's right up in my nostril, which is annoying. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the line art for Riddle's hair. I'm doing that to avoid any tangents. Actually, I think I realized the problem. That was a little too close to there. There we go. Magda is grooming herself, making sure she's not dirty. Hmm. So, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me in total to work on this. I know it's definitely gonna take me at least an hour in order to get all of it done. But I think it'll be hopefully worth it. So let me change this. Very quickly. Now let's look at this. There's right now. Gonna go ahead and start correcting a little bit of this color. Mm. So there we go. And I'm gonna continue working on this line art. And once I get some color down, I might go and work on some rendering for this. I'm not fully sure. But yeah. I'm gonna go... Start... Other... Parts of his face... I probably need to go use the bathroom in a bit. And here we go. Here we go. Now we can go and cut some of the colors. And there we go. And that appears to be a good color for his skin tone. It's very, very pale. Now, Hi, Magda. So, I'll finish up this, and I'm gonna go and use the bathroom. Yes. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop for now. Ads are gonna start soon. I need to use the bathroom. I'll be back. hair.
You'll have a bit of a fever.
So, sorry about that impromptu break. This needed to use the bathroom pretty bad. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish this sketch. I think the liner is pretty much done except for that one accessory. I'm gonna go ahead and start a bit of this. Just really make the thing real quick. Alright, can merge those leaves down. I'm gonna start thickening up some of these lines. Right. I'm actually gonna do this. So I'm gonna cross out that and that. I think the yellow here be suitable. And red. Now I can get started on the rendering of this
Peace.
So
Hello, Magda. How you doing?
now I'm gonna go start with some shade. Beginning with the eyes. I think I'm gonna have the lighting come. I don't know. Also gonna do this, which is kind of like this bunny nose shade that I tend to do. Kind of like a part of my style at this point. Welcome back, Magda. Probably went to drink water. That's probably what she did. So a bump. And this is also probably going to be a way for me to try and lure potential clients for when I do put up my commissions. It's probably going to be over the summer. Like once my break is done. No, not my break, once my semester is done. So There we go. There we go. Slowly getting better and better. I think I'll go ahead and add the rim light. I think I'll use this red for here. And now let's turn the background back on. Add glow. This. I think I'll add a heart to the highlight here. And but I'm also gonna add this teardrop. Maybe I could change Riddle's hair, look a little more richer in terms of color. I can do that later. And now I'm just gonna do this hair shade. And here. I just need to finish doing all the shading. For the hair. And there we go. I'm not fully satisfied with the hair color right now. So I think I might change it. Maybe to this. Let me turn off that. Gonna do that. So I think, that's a little dark. Hmm. Hmm. Right. So I think this looks a little better. Okay, I think I like that color better. Now I just need to Oh yeah, ad break is gonna start soon. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this as an opportunity to take a break. And I'll see y'all in a few minutes. everybody. So let's go ahead and continue working on this. Which I'm gonna go and do like this. Here we go. So and I think now I'll use the original hair color I was using for the highlights. Gonna turn off the rim light. Yeah, luckily yesterday I decided to work on assignments that are due technically next week, but I wanted to kind of get them done beforehand so that I, could sort of get ahead of it and not have to worry about it later. Because I want to try and focus more on some of the things I have for my finals, which includes, projects and quizzes and discussions. Dear Lord, the discussions. But yeah. I might need to do something like grab a black, put it just cover all of Riddle, and then check where any gaps in the color are, so I can correct it before I accidentally, consider this done. I'm also going to add a bit of a blush. I'm gonna use linear burn at like 20%. Actually, let me turn it up. Because right now, Riddle here is looking very, very pale. Like, even paler than I am on a normal day. And now... And now we gotta blur. I think I'm gonna move Riddle over. That. So I think I'm gonna start off with that. You turn off all the shading layers. And since this is very close to being done, that means I'll soon be able to switch over to something else. I don't think I'm gonna get started on any other characters just yet, as there's something I plan on doing in preparation for Halloween. Halloween isn't for another, like, 7 months, but involves me ordering stuff from a manufacturer, so I wanna get started on that as soon as possible, you know, get the things designed so that when it is time, send them off to the manufacturer. They'll be ready. And of course I do need to calculate how much I might possibly need. Like, I'll have to consider, you know, how many people are in my neighborhood, how many people might be coming in from outside my neighborhood for trick-or-treating. Like, you know, what if one trick-or-treater wants to get more than one sticker so they can give it to a friend who is not in the neighborhood but would like a sticker or anyway. I gotta do a lot of calculations. So I'll probably end up ordering like 1,000 stickers. And then for like any excess stickers, I have to figure out how I'll get rid of them. Maybe I can give them away during conventions. Maybe I made the note was the highlight a little too big. There's like very little contrast over here. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I'll do something like that. Yeah. I feel like I have to do a good amount of color correcting after this. Oops. But yeah. That kind of comes with the territory. And there we go. Now I might do a second level of shading in around this area. So first let me just take care of this. Yeah, the second reason why I wanted to make stickers is because that's kind of like an easy, low-risk way of getting into, like, selling merch. Because they don't cost a lot to produce. And they don't take up as much space as, you know, stuff like keychains, or hell forbid, t-shirts, and other clothing items. So, and because I, you know, don't want to just completely waste any money, yeah, by, you know, selling stuff that nobody would be interested in, I think, you know, starting off with stickers would be a good way to kind of like get started with the business. Like, see if people would be interested in my wares if they have coin. Which, you know, kind of sucks, but eh. Hmm. But yeah. I'll design the stickers. Maybe figure out with my mom which one would probably be the best one. Then probably in like September, I'll order the stickers from the manufacturer and just hope they arrive before Halloween. Also, apparently, according to the ENT, my sinuses are swollen, but I've been blowing my nose very frequently because of my cold, so that's probably why that I have very swollen sinuses. It is simply because I'm sick with cold. I even wore a face mask when I went to the ENT and then to the store because the ENT told me to eat yogurt when I have my antibiotic, like after the antibiotic. Which, they gave that same advice to my mom some time ago, and she was just like, oh, that helps a lot. So I trust the ear doctor. And you know, she was very straightforward with it. Which I like in my doctors. I like it when they are, you know, straightforward with me. Is it, you know, means I have to ask questions like, I don't know what questions I would ask. Like, you know, what I can eat with a certain medicine, or like, if I need to eat while taking a certain medication. Which for the antibiotic, because of how strong it is, she told me that I need to eat something with it. But yeah. Ridley here is looking a little too pale for my liking. I think this looks a little better. Also gonna add a little more blur to the blush as well. Now I'm gonna add more shading. Was blur tool, not what I needed. Oh. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a border around on the riddle. Let me just turn off that thing. Wait, I just realized I have an auto action for this. I think I'll do it with the color here.
not the best.
Well, do this. Anyway, add jail. Sorry about that. Now, gonna erase certain things. Mm-hmm. Now, quarter two. Now I think riddle is done. So I'm gonna save that. Cross out the render. Probably probably gonna add some more for detail later, but for now, this is what you're gonna get. Actually, I think I'm gonna go add some detail. Which is gonna include blur. And oops. So I'm gonna add some additional details. No. And various parts. Of this. That is just the line color. I'm gonna blur some of the rim light as well. And I think this can be considered done. At the very least, I consider it done right now. I know I could use some detail here and there, but at this point, I don't feel like working on it anymore. So I'm just gonna do that. Save and close. Got that. So with that pretty much done, I can go close out the references in the subview. I'm gonna get up, stretch, and empty out my and then I'll get started on our stickers. Also, hello, Light. A moment, I need to say some. There's not enough space in the trash can. I wasn't able to throw all of it out. At this point, mostly news. I'm incredible. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and explain what exactly I am going to be making stickers of. We just go. It's gonna be cats. Very fluffy cats. And I might even make some references to the Boopanine. That was one of the Tumblr April Fool's things many years ago. Like a few years ago. You could boop. If someone allowed for boops, you could boop them. You could even do an evil boop. And they even brought it back for Halloween. So, I'm probably going to grab, look at my camera roll. So kind of like glance over. So I'm gonna go and make a. I think I should make a new folder in my drawings folder. New folder. Merch. New regular canvas. And now all I'm gonna do is just draw a bunch of cats. I also need to work on the Heimkatzel coloring in reference sheet. Also, I think I have some photos of old cat drawings I did in the origins of my assignments last semester, back when I was in a first aid class. Let me just go down. There's one the kitty doing a big stretch. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure. Hey, Mags. Hi. So these are going to be like very loose sketches. Of little kitties. Yeah, these are going to be possible stickers that I'll be giving out to, that me and my mom are gonna give out to trick-or-treaters. There's on Halloween this year, which, what is Halloween? It's Saturday! So, this year, it'll be Saturday. So, first idea. Kitty doing big stretch. Yes, if I do have enough surplus. That's from the, you know, trick-or-treaters. I might actually sell the rest. Probably for like pretty cheap. Maybe like $3 a piece. And I, have a bunch of Pokemon letters for packs. I bought at this store or in my area at the mall like many years ago. And I still have no purpose for them right now. And given that, I might be able to, use them, that means I don't have to actually pay for packaging. Which means I can, use those letters and, the paper thing that you use to write letters with, and and the envelopes. I can finally use them up, and y'all can get stickers from me. And I might make, and while I could make some based on the chat mascot, but the Meowpoke herself. Because of, the demographic of trick-or-treaters is, very young children, I don't want them hopping into my, Twitch and essentially doxing me. So, if I do ever make stickers of the Meowpokes, those are just gonna be an online exclusive thing, or if I ever go to conventions in the future. But these are just sketches. I actually have a 3D model of a kitty that I can use. Hello Magda, do you have zoomies? Are you chasing bugs? Also, there are a bunch of other things I need to do as well. Or, some future plans I have that I am trying to keep relatively secret. Which I'm probably gonna work on during my, non in-person class days, my assignment days. Which I'm making pretty good progress on the things I'm working on. I also bought some assets. Right now, I'm just kind of working with... I've been meaning to work with some HTML stuff. Because I plan on doing some upgrades to my streaming setup. In terms of, the visuals. This is unfortunately a very terrible time to actually upgrade my computer due to various circumstances. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, save this. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Yeah, eventually I will figure out a sticker for here to refine. Then I can save it as a PNG, and then order stickers with the design from a manufacturer. It's basically going to be a test of, like, if people are actually interested in my art enough to want physical version of it. Of course, there are websites that allow you to upload your art and people can order prints from it, and you don't have to have a bunch of, prints in storage. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the intermission a little early this time. And I'll be back once ads are over. See y'all in a bit. I'm back. And,
feeling kind of sick. My nose itchy.
What? It was, very strange. Anyway.
Let's go ahead.
And start working on more stickers.
Because, of course, stickers go bar.
And I think this is probably what I'm gonna be doing for like most of the final hour of stream. Got like 53 minutes left. I'm gonna use it to just do stuff like this. Like this. Magda appears to have zoomies. Magda, what are you doing?
Hello, Edis.
How are you? I have a kitty with the zoomies. We got... Ooh, big stretch. EP Forklift, and Onigiri. A new sticker has joined the roster. Scary Guy. He is asserting his dominance. By being tall. Look at them high beams. Yeah, I'm just playing it fast and loose. Just with all these. Hi, Mags. Also, I am not fully sure how much I'm going to work on these designs for these kitties. But I'm just going to kind of like have general ideas for these. We now have Big Stretch, EP Forklift, Onigiri, Scary Guy, and Gargoyle. Hmm. And now we have a worm. A very fluffy worm. The ants are coming back. They tend to fall from the ceiling times. I have a popcorn ceiling. Now we have 6 of these little guys. We got Big Stretch, EP Forklift, Onigiri, Gargoyle, Scary Guy, and the Delectable Worm. I feel like out of all of these little guys, ones I kind of like the most right now are the Onigiri, Gargoyle, and Scary Guy. Just look at those high beams on that Scary Guy. That in it, you know, probably is most suited for Halloween.
What you doing, Magda? What you do?
And fun fact about my neighborhood. Apparently a bunch of, you know, people in my neighborhood just know my house as the cat house because there's just almost always a cat there and somewhere in the yard just observing. Which is just kind of funny that that's how people know my house. But yeah. So, depending on what my mom and I kind of like, you know, make a decision for, or we might do 2 of these designs and make a bunch of them, you know, like order a bunch of them from a manufacturer. So, I plan on getting like very good quality stickers, you know, like vinyl stickers that are nice and thick and won't easily tear. And I might need to like make a little graphic as well. go for, you know, all of my people who desire a sticker. Kind of like have it say something like, you can either acquire for candy or for stickers of some kitties. Have a friend outside the neighborhood who would like a sticker? Grab one for them as well. And then maybe like a silent plea like, please, we ordered over 1,000 of these. So I might need to calculate how much that would cost. Because the minimum quantity, the quantity of the item is, you know, 10. So if I order like 200 of them, I'm gonna get 2,000 stickers, I'm pretty sure. That doesn't even count if I make more than one design. Which means I'd have to order for less of them, but have them be an equal amount of the same designs. So if I order, you know, if I want, you know, 2,000 stickers to hand out to the trick-or-treaters, which I can get like 1,000 of one design. Let's say a scary guy. I order 1,000 of the scary guy, and then I order 1,000 of the gargoyle. Or I get 1,000 of the scary guy and 1,000 of the delectable worm. Or 1,000 of the scary guy and 1,000 of the onigiri. Though I doubt that I'm actually gonna be able to give away like 2,000 stickers. I might have it be like, you know, you can acquire both candy and a sticker of your choice. Like, as a way to help get rid of them. And if I have any left, if I, you know, have an in-person class, which I'm probably gonna have an in-person class next semester, I can give some of the stickers away to my classmates and professor. So give them each a sticker. But yeah. I need to check if any more classes or the courses I need have opened up. Because right now, there aren't many. But anyway, these are all the designs I was thinking of. So I can cross that out of the list. Yeah, tomorrow is gonna be Skyrim, I believe. We'll be, you know, I'll be in PNG jail the whole time, but that's what happens when you return to Dovahkiin. Actually, never mind. Thanks. Hmm. Or what I'm gonna do next. I got like half an hour left of stream that I can do. That I am willing to do. I think I'll work on this, you know. Maybe, I don't know. So I think I might rework some of Linnea's design over here. Because, you know, the line here kind of makes her look a little darker. I think I'm gonna go start the shading. At the very least. And I'm also gonna add the shading. Yeah, Outbreak is starting soon. But yeah. Hmm. Wait. And there we go. And that. Anyway, welcome back from ads, everyone. I've just been working on this the whole time. I think this looks pretty good for right now. Yeah, I still have a lot of concept art and reference sheets that I need to work through for this right now. But yeah. I just have so many of these reference sheets that I have to go through. And that doesn't even get started with, all of this. Of course, I also have all these portraits, which I don't know if I'm actually going to be using any of them. At all. In the near future. Which I know I probably shouldn't be, doing all this stuff when, I'm not even done with the book. But for me, I feel like I can write characters better for a little bit when I actually have a design for them. A somewhat solid appearance. So that I can, see the character in my head. Also because I'm an artist. Which I also have the thumbnails over here. I probably need to start figuring out how I'm going to draw these. Because I was thinking that I can start off with a digital copy. Of the book and eventually see if I could get it traditionally published, on paper. And the main thing about that is that means that I can make two versions of the images in the novel. One is going to be the digital version where it's all fully colored. And then there's going to be the actual physical book version, which is going to be it's going to be black and white with tones. It's throughout. Which, of course, this is stuff I need to all figure out. But, of course, some of that stuff is probably going to be figured out once I actually, and at the very least, the third draft of the book. And this, by the way, doesn't even get started with the actual marketing. Because for the marketing, I plan on, commissioning a bunch of artists to draw my characters. Which is partially why I even have all those reference sheets. It's so that the artists have an idea as to how to draw the characters. Because, like for Fettle here, he has a cleft palate and a scar on his face. And he also has a bunch of scars on his body because those are stretch marks because of his Ehlers-Danlos. I also, of course, have the outfit sheets. But, yeah. What do I have that I can work on? I actually don't know. What do I have? Hmm. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. I have no idea what I can work on that isn't, the thing that I am trying not to work on while live. So I'm gonna go end stream. Tomorrow is going to be Skyrim. And then I'm probably gonna go check my canvas. See what I actually need to do for assignments and stuff for next week. But I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow. Bye!